Hello everybody and welcome back to the Pro Lemon SEO channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be answering a question I get quite often from our interns, as well as the majority of people looking to start off in web development on do they really need to know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and know how to code a website from beginning to end? And this I find is a very interesting question because there's two real answers to this. Yes, but actually no. No, but actually yes. Um, so the reason why I'm saying it like that is because it depends entirely on what it is you want to do. Do you want to focus on web development, web design, and really just making a website the way you imagine it? Do you want to give your clients or yourself the most amount of options when designing the website and making it as optimal as possible? Then yes, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, C++, C Sharp, depending on what platform you're using and how you want to do things, yes, definitely learn how to code at least in HTML and CSS, or at least know how to read it. If you're just looking at doing SEO, you're just looking at basic websites, you're not charging people a lot, you're looking at time or you're looking at energy, then most definitely don't learn how to do that, or you don't need to learn how to do it. Everybody that's working in tech should know at least the basics about how to code. But if you are really just looking at it as a side gig, something that you don't want to spend too much time on, it's not something I would actually recommend. And there's plenty of reasons for that. We live in an age where if you want to learn how to figure out something specific, you can just search it and you can find it on the internet, whether it's a blog post, a YouTube video, Stack Overflow, Find, it's there for you to find relatively easily and relatively quickly. So it's not something that you have to put too much time and effort into knowing. Okay, most plugins that you're going to use if you're just doing this as part-time, something that you don't want to write custom code for anything, you won't even have the option to add custom CSS or custom CSS or anything of the sort into the website. So it's not something that you definitely need to know, especially if you're using WordPress. Now, if you do want to learn it, it's something I highly recommend you do. Learning the basics of it is something that will make your life far easier, especially when you're running into errors, when things aren't lining up the way. You can just go in there, do it yourself, and make it look right. In the beginning, it does take a lot of time. And even when you're just using HTML and CSS in comparison to JavaScript or sorry JavaScript into a template builder, it still does take a lot more time to do something relatively simple. But once you get into the river of things, once you get really good, you can knock out a website in a day or two. It's not that difficult, but it's something that you have to learn and become accustomed to and comfortable with, which can take more time than just a template builder. If we had to look at it, it's a learning curve. You start off here, and with WordPress and the like, you kind of just go up like this, and then you sort of plateau, and it takes more and more time to learn something or do some more specific things. Whereas with HTML, you start off here, and you start to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this, and you slowly start to peak. You peak up around about here, and then you start to plateau a bit. But the learning curve is a lot steeper. But by the time you get to the end, or a relatively like 30, 40, 50, 60 hours in, you sort of even out in what you're doing. Okay. Um, Also with HTML and CSS, there's a lot more ways you can make a mistake and mess something up and ruin everything on the server or the website. Where with WordPress, it's a lot simpler. If we look at something like WordPress, for example, let's say I just want to build a really quick website to show somebody. I can do templates, starter templates. I can just activate it. I can find one that I like. I can buy it. I can activate it. I can install it. And all of a sudden, I've got a website that works great. You can see it, for example, you can try the new AI builder. I've never used this before, so let's try this. Um, Nope, I'm actually not going to do that because I don't create an account in this. I'll just say Elementor. I will look through what I want. I'll find one that I actually like. I'll say all. I'll say, let's say, for example, um, let's say agency. We'll wait for it to load. I'll find one that I relatively like let's say this one over here. I'll click on it. I'll add whatever I need to here in terms of my logos. I can, edit the logo length and all that. Next, I'll choose my colors. This time I'll go with this. Actually, you know what? I'll go with this one, or the default colors are the best. I'll go for this font. I'll click next. I will sign in here everything. I will submit my website to build, and I'll just build my website. And that's basically all I need to do to get a really good theme off of the ground. I could build my own themes and then have them in reserve. All of these things make building websites with a template builder so much easier, but having that knowledge of HTML and CSS really makes your life a lot easier because once you get into the nitty gritty, once you start working at a higher level, it becomes near essential or absolutely essential. So here's my answer to that question. Do you need to know HTML and CSS? Yes and no. Are you just looking to do it as a side hustle with some HTML? Not what, sorry, as a side hustle with SEO, building small websites for people, building your own website. Do you need to know HTML and CSS in depth? No. Are you looking to make a career out of this? Most definitely. Are you looking to make something the way you want to do it exactly? Learn some. But in the end, it depends entirely on what it is you want to do. So take that as you will. Look at things in general and say, I need to do this. This is how much time it's going to take me. Remember that you've got plenty of resources online that can teach you, tell you how to do specific things, solve specific problems, and in the end, it won't take you as long as you think to master something. So, do you need to know HTML and CSS? Not really, no. But I highly recommend you learn either way because once you get out of the sort of hobbyist phase and into the semi professional and professional phase, it's something everybody knows a sliver of. So, I highly recommend that you do that. I hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you all for listening. See you all tomorrow.